Good day. My name is Charles, and I'm here to give you a short talk, 10-minute talk on mindfulness movement. Mindfulness movement is yet another way of practicing mindfulness, and in mindfulness movement we use the actual movement as our mindfulness support. So we basically will be doing various movements in the practice, and as you do the movements, I invite you to experience the sensations, the feelings, the emotions that may arise within those movements. And if your mind wanders, as it usually does, then bring it back to the movement. In other words, the actual movement is your mindfulness support. Just like in our sitting practice, where we use the breath or sound as our mindfulness support, in mindfulness movement, the actual movement itself is the mindfulness support. And again, as in the sitting practice and body scan, we are encouraging our mind and body to integrate together, to become embodied, because the body itself only experiences the present moment. It's the mind that goes off into the past, regrets and future plans and daydreams, and insists on being busy when we just want to rest. So the overall aim in the mindfulness movement is to achieve that rest by mindfully moving our body and being there with each movement. So as we move, we look for the feelings that may arise. They may be pleasant, they may be unpleasant, there may be emotions arising as a result of those feelings, and those emotions may well lead to thoughts. And if we engage in the thoughts, then we might actually have emotional reactions to those thoughts. So it's that whole chain of events that we're trying to see in our exploration of mindfulness movement. We're engaging in this holistic approach to mind and body, so that we can see that integration. Quite often we live in our heads and the body is ignored. But the body, as I said previously, is always in the moment, and we can come home to the body and relax in the body. When I was assigned this task, I had initial regrets because I'm an older person, very stiff knees, joints, arms, poor balance, and I've found mindfulness movement a bit of a challenge in the past. So it then led me to get on with it, try it out, see what's actually involved, and I've come to the conclusion that I'm probably one of the better people to lead mindfulness movement because of those restrictions I've mentioned. Because the aim is not a physical workout, although you can always do that if you can do it mindfully. The aim is a mindfulness workout. So the mindfulness workout is about taking yourself maybe to the edge of discomfort, but not beyond that. You are the expert on your body, and you know what you can do and what you can't do. So you can take yourself to the edge of discomfort. You can observe that discomfort, observe the feelings that arise with that discomfort, and maybe even the thoughts that attach to it, how the thoughts may amplify that discomfort. Now you may get angry or frustrated at that point and react. And these are all genuine bonuses coming from practicing mindfulness movement. And so the advice I will give is that, again, you go to the edge. If necessary, it's always a good idea to have a chair to hand. You can maybe rest on the back of the chair during some of the more difficult balances, movements, or you can even sit them out, because it's quite valid to actually engage in the movement just in your mind, in a visualization, and take that visualization as we do in the body scan, and visualize that part of your body doing the movement. Seriously, do not push beyond what your body is capable of. We can take mindfulness movement into our everyday life. For example, we could mindfully brush our teeth and feel the sensation of holding the brush in the mouth, against the gums, against the teeth, the taste of the toothpaste, and that general feeling of cleanliness creeping into our mouth and tastes, and just tasting all that and feeling all that and translating that moment by moment, millisecond by millisecond. Also, we can mindfully wash the pots. Great way to be mindful, to actually pay total attention to what's going on in the sink and on the draining board, carefully washing each item with our mind focused totally on the actions needed by the body to actually wash. So we're rotating the brush, and we can feel that rotation in our wrist as we brush inside the cup. We have the sensation of moving the cup to the draining board and going through all the items in the sink, individually cleaning them, knives, forks, plates, pans, again all that motion. And instead of our mind going off, daydreaming or planning, we can bring it back to that cleaning process. So there are many other ways, routine tasks that normally we might do completely with our head in a different place. We just go into automatic mode and do what we have to do, and our mind's gone elsewhere. I mean, how many times have you driven to work and not remembered anything about the journey? You arrive there, your mind has been elsewhere. just focusing on driving the car, every movement that's involved, noticing what you see in the mirrors, what you see ahead, telling yourself what potentially you can see ahead. These are advanced driving techniques which are very useful for keeping you safe as well as mindfulness practice. So we can, in our mindfulness movement practice, we can hone up all these skills by concentrating on the movement, seeing what arises from that movement. If we then translate that into thoughts, and thoughts attach, our mind goes off, we can then bring the mind gently back to the movement again. So we've got this awareness of what's happening while it's happening, and the key thing, as Rob says, is no preference. So we just accept everything that's happening. So if there's some discomfort, let's try and learn to accept that discomfort, be with it. Maybe we can use our breath to breathe through that discomfort with no expectations, but just simply doing that and accepting that difficulty. Some of us may notice a competitive streak when we do the practice, that we want to have the straightest back, that we're going to hold the posture longer than anybody else. And again, noticing that competitiveness and where does it come from. This is kind of inbuilt into our psyche as Western people, that, we're always told as young children, you can do better. You can do better than that. And that need to be better is inbuilt. And when we're in our work mode, in school mode, we've got to compete. We've got to be the best. So seeing that competitive streak in action in the mindfulness movement, we can just see how far we really feel comfortable to go. Just, as I say, the edge is the important place, the edge of where it feels difficult. Discomfort comes in, but we're not pushing into the pain region. And then we can just pull back and accept that's our limitation. That's as far as we can go. We don't have to go any further. So the idea is that you trust your body. Your body knows best. It knows just how far it can go. And we accept what arises. Now we'll go into the practice. Okay.